The GOAT's back, Tanner. The GOAT is back, and he gave us a list on G and Card's off day, which I think might be a little disrespectful. I do believe he should have waited for G and Card to be here, but we're here to recap and react to Andy Katz's top 10 wings. I'm gonna list them off and then get your thoughts on it. In order, we got JT Toppin, AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Alex Condon, Caleb Wilson, Darian Williams, Alex Caravan, Ryan Conwell, Carter Knox, and Rodney Rice. Who do you think's too high? Who do you think's too low? Is there anybody not on the list that you would want on the list? And I also want to know, and I hate to put you on the spot with this. I'm sorry if it because I just ask questions. Is there a single mid-major wing that you would like to put on the list?
All right, so I'm gonna start with this. None of these guys are wings. Which of these guys are Toppin is a big. Condon is a big as a forward. Rice is a guard, I think. Is Peterson a wing? Peterson's like a guard, isn't he?
What's so?
Um,
Can we define? Well, I don't want to cut you off, but like, what is your definition of a wing? Because I think I have a completely different definition of a wing than like everybody else.
a um a two-way lengthier piece whose main roles are more about slashing, connecting, and playing solid switchable defense. That's maybe not my definition, but that's like what I want out of a good wing.
Yeah. For me, a wing is a 2-3. So I don't
Okay.
consider a four can be a wing in today's day and age, obviously, because like the way basketball is played is so different. And a two could be a one in today's day and age. But like I look at like a Klay Thompson, he's a shooting guard. To me, he's a wing. I look at to me, Darren Peterson can be a wing. But I do believe my definition, and maybe my definition's wrong. I'm not saying it's right, but my definition, from the videos I've done, I've realized my definition is quite a bit different than a lot of people's.
Yeah, well, to Andy's credit, this is a bit of a tough exercise because one, everyone defines a wing differently, and two, I feel like all the best players in college basketball these days are guards or big men, right? Like if I like listed out like the top 10 players right now, I think I'd have like one or a couple wings. I mean, look, guys that are on this list who I think for sure deserve to be on this list. Um, DeBonsa, Caravan, Conwell, Wilson, and Williams. Would you say
DeBonce
that's right?
and Conwell Williams.
Yeah, and Wilson.
The Caravan. Yeah, yeah, I
I
think I
I
agree
I,
with that.
I think I can't
Carter
ignore that.
Knox.
Now if the other guys are not considered wings, right? If there's like four or five on here who aren't. Other guys that I think could be on the top 10 wings list. Nate Ament, maybe. I think he's gonna score a ton in like the Barnes flex motion. Tucker DeVries, maybe. Stojakovic, maybe. I really like Stojakovic a lot. I'm high on him this year. Luwan Watts, maybe. So you would consider Fletcher Lawyer a wing?
Yes. Yeah. So
I
to
would
me,
put I
if
would put
you're
him on this list.
anyone that's not a primary ball handler is a wing. Actually that's the best way to describe it. If you're not the primary ball handler, to me, you're a wing.
I feel like I could differentiate between off-ball guard and off-ball wing.
Okay.
I
So
think I think that could be different. But also I don't mind your definition. If you're just like an off-ball playmaker who's not a big man.
because to me, it's like if you're not, well, I guess like the caveat would be, and maybe this would remove Peterson from my list. Peterson is more likely to play the one than he is the three. But Fletcher Lawyer is more likely to play the two and the three than he is the one and the two, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, then you would definitely put Ortega on this list, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean that one I was like maybe he's a guard, but yeah, I think Lawyer and Ortega should both be on this list. In terms of mid-major wings, a couple of guys that I would want to shout out would be like, well, one guy that I think is really interesting is Keontae Jones from Dayton, who had an unbelievable exhibition.
Okay.
He came from CSUN transfer. He put up 17 points in 23 minutes. Um, Reminds me a bit of a low major Tabonsa.
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girl sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife, love Clara Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
I
Big
like that.
dude, big dude, quick first step, can get to the rim. I think he's going to have a pretty big year. I'd have to think of some other guys. Like again, you got to kind of like define a wing. One of
I
my
think of his
breakout candidates who could be considered a big, but also is playing with a traditional big, is actually going to be more on the wing or from the perimeter. Jack Daughtry of Illinois State. Do
okay.
not be surprised if Jack Daughtry of Illinois State ends up in the top 10 in threes made this year, as just Chase Walker inside out, double team's going to come. Daughtry's going to hit everything. Like him a lot. I'll have to think of some other names. Paulo Tino, maybe, if you don't consider him a big, from St. Louis. He'll be
One of the
great. He'll be
two,
great next to Robbie Avila.
one of the two names I wanted on the list, me personally, Lamar Wilkerson, Tucker DeVries.
Yes.
Those are the two best players on Indiana. I'm extremely high on Indiana. You have to put one of them on the list, if not both, in my opinion. And then, yeah, I mean, those are the two big ones. I mean, what do you
If
think
you
about?
want my definition of a wing, by the way, Tucker is my prototypical wing.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Tucker's like surefire wing. Lamar Wilkerson, that's the Dion definition of wing, but I could understand if someone's like, yo, that's a guard. I just think for me, it's like Kylan Boswell is a guard. He's going to handle the ball.
Yes.
He's going to do everything. Like that's a
Yes.
guard. Fletcher Lawyer is like a catch and shoot wing type
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could call him an off-ball shooting guard, but he's basically a wing. He's also 6'5".
of guy. Right.
Yeah, he's not. It's not like he's a small dude.
Owen Carr, actually, I think I would want on this list too. Like he's a wing
You're
for
higher on Cohen Carr than I am.
I'm high on Colin Carr than probably everybody in America. The only person,
I hope he pounds out for you.
I think me and Izzo are the only ones that are like, you know what, this is the guy. uh,
You and Izzo are up late at night texting. Like Carr looked great in practice today. Like I
I'm
know,
shooting,
dude.
shooting Izzo text like, yo, how's Cohen looking? He's like, ah, he looks good. He looks good.
Any other guys on here you could think about? I like the Tucker and Lamar call outs. What would
um,
you say about Nate Amen?
I think Nate Amen's well, I'll say this. Whether you think Nate Amen's a wing or not, Nate Amen thinks he's a wing. So he should
Yeah.
be on the list.
I just think that, I think he's gonna be the um linear connect of this year's team.
hmm
Like because Barnes runs the same offensive shit all the time, which actually annoys me in the end. But he just runs those wings around his flex screens, and they come to the top of the key and they hit mid range and threes. I think he's just going to do that over and over this year.
Yeah, I think Nate Amen wildly underrated because he committed so late. One thing I've noticed in the most recent recruiting cycles, if you prolong your commitment, people start to sour towards the end of it and they start to poke holes at your game because you're not watching Devonta tape anymore. Now it's like the only one we're focused on is Nate Amen.
Yeah, yeah,
um, I think he's a lot better than he was getting credit for. And he's like a 7 foot wing.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. That's crazy.
yeah. I think
Um,
he'll have a big year.
me too. Me too. What do you think about Thomas Haw. Is he a wing? Not
I
a wing?
don't I don't think he's a wing.
Okay.
I
Because
think he's a forward.
I was thinking that was like one guy where I was like maybe you give Florida two of them. I don't know.
I think that if Andy Katz is going to release a top 10 wings list, he needs to come out and release his methodology beforehand. And then we can all agree instead of getting angry about it.
I,
But
that
yeah, I
goes
mean,
for me.
it's so hard to come up with the top 10. But yeah, like Devonta, Caravan, Conwell, Wilson, Williams, Tucker, Lamar, and then maybe Ament, Lawyer for sure.
You know what? I wish you and I were doing today.
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to. We're not going to get to, and this is completely random. I'm sorry to all the listeners. I wanted to find like if the G Leaguers should be able to play with you. I feel like you have a great opinion on that based upon all the
Oh,
stuff we've done today.
I don't know, man. I mean, this whole like JUCO and G League no longer count against your eligibility. Look, I think it's I have two sides. I'll go quickly. I think it's great when college players get to play more often in college because
Hmm.
you start to it brings more interest to the sport because the brand name, I guess you could say, is higher. Like so many people I know tune into Vandy games now. Why? Diego Pavia. He's
Right.
amazing. Like, and so I love being able to like build connections to these guys across their careers. At the same time, uh, we're approaching like I think TGF is like 26. Like we're approaching like 26, 27 year olds playing college basketball. That
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like ethically correct at this point.
I there's a short on my opinion on it up on the channel, but just to get for whoever didn't listen, I'm okay with like people playing into their mid 20s. I really don't care. If you play G League basketball, that's the pros. So I'm
Yeah, then you exhaust your eligibility altogether.
because if you play G League basketball, the NBA could have called you up if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And they chose not to. So the G League thing to me is different. JUCO, whatever, you don't want to get used eligibility. You played D2, you played NAA. If we want to say that doesn't count, I'm fine. Uh, G League's a little different, man. You literally were flying first class to games depending on who you were. That's just a little different to me. But shout out to Go Andy Katz for making his return top 10 wings. Andy, give us your definition of a wing, man.